Hi guys, it's Lindy and welcome back to my YouTube channel called Rainbow Body. On this channel, we talk about all kinds of spiritual and metaphysical topics, starseed topics, healing, self-care, meditation, all kinds of stuff like that. So welcome back. Today, I am going to give you an energy update for May. And as we move into spring, I think it's really important that we talk about where we are at energetically. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Right now we're moving into, we're in spring, right? Spring has sprung. And with that comes the death of everything that is old and the sprouting up of new life, right? So it's a natural time, a seasonal time for death and then rebirth. So that's naturally where we are as Mother Earth or Gaia goes through her natural seasonal cycles. But this is also actually playing out in our personal lives as well and on a collective scale. So we're going to get into that today. And I think it's very interesting. I pulled some cards. And the cards were like spot on as far as what the energy is right now. And so I think that you guys are really going to relate to the cards I pulled. Those are very interesting. And then I might just give you some further insight into the energy right now. So let's get into it. The cards I pulled. Okay. So, it's very, very interesting the order these cards popped up, okay? So, first, I pulled the Perseverance card. Perseverance. Sorry about the shadows, guys. It's actually a really, dark and dreary day where I'm at today, and I had to really blast the lights on, to get good lighting in the video. So, if there's, shadows, that's why. It's a little behind the scenes tidbit about today's video. But so I pulled this card, Perseverance. Okay, now this card, it says Perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. And so this card collectively is representing all the hard work that we have been doing. And this on a personal level, this is all your hard work that you've been doing on yourself. So really working on yourself and doing your self-care and your self-healing, really going within. This is what this card is representing, because as other people know that have done a lot of healing and self-work and really taken a good hard look at themselves, know that it is work and it is hard work, but of course it's eventually all worth it, right? So that's what this card right here is representing. It's representing us taking responsibility and accountability for our vibration and really peeling back the layers of our trauma and issues that we have had, really peeling those layers off so we can move more into our authentic self, right? And be more healed and therefore really help with this energetic shift that we're moving through. So that's what this card, Perseverance, is representing. Right after that card, I pulled the Death card. Now, this is so appropriate to the energy right now, guys. The Death card. The Death card says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings, okay? Endings are merely beginnings. And so what you will find is all the hard work, the self-work that you have been doing, diving deep within, right? Connecting to our souls and really, really cultivating the life that we want and healing and all of that, right? All the hard work is moving us into death of the ego, death of what no longer serves us in our life, death of what no longer resonates. Okay, so that's what this card is representing, and it's also tied into, of course, the seasonal shift. But the energy right now, of course, it's like a seasonal thing, but it's amplified very, very strongly this year because of the bigger energetic shift that humanity is currently going through and has been going through for a few years now. We're in a transitional period. We're in a transitional period right now. And so what you will find is a lot of things that no longer serve you, that are not in your best and highest good, are falling out of your life. And this card, you know, that also could represent like actual real literal death. Okay. Yeah, that's happening a lot as well. But this card is also representing metaphoric death, you know, death of our ego, death of just the patterns and behaviors that no longer serve us, and also death of like things in our life, relationships that do not serve us and are not for our best and highest good, are falling away out of our lives, things like that. So that's what this card represents. And then last of the trifecta of cards I pulled is the peace card. Okay, so what all three of these cards are representing is basically all of our work that we've been doing on ourselves, diving deep within, really being responsible for our vibration, no longer, you know, blaming things outside of ourselves, but really doing our best to move into accountability, honesty, and being transparent. All of the hard work that we have been doing. A lot of people, and probably a lot of people watching this video, have been working really hard on themselves for quite some time, going through a transformation. So then the things that no longer serve us, the lessons that we've already learned from people and, you know, things in our life, those are dying, so then we can move into peace. And this represents the big, huge energetic shift that we're going through right now, because we are transitioning. We're having a huge shift in consciousness, right? A huge shift in consciousness is taking place on this planet, and everything that no longer serves us, so the constructs of the ego and things like this, are falling out of our life so that we actually can move into a new earth of peace. So it says, I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. Okay, so we really are actually moving into a golden age, right? Now, this transitional period has been going on for quite a while, and it's going to continue for quite a while, okay? But this is the space we're in right now in this huge transition, okay, that people are experiencing on an individual level, but it's also being experienced on a big scale, you know, a macro scale. Okay, so this is all to move us in to the new earth. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my personal take on all the cards I pulled, but I found it very, very just right on time that I pulled those cards and in the order I pulled them. And I will get more into that in a minute. But first, I want to show you the last card I pulled. And it's the Sun Goddess card, okay? So this card has a 33 at the top. It's the Sun Goddess card. And it says, I celebrate each sunrise and recognize the healing energies of the sun. So I thought that was very appropriate. And it really led me into talking about the part that actually the sun is playing in this huge transition. Okay. And I also wanted to bring your attention too right now to this necklace I'm wearing. Okay. Because this is a necklace that I made and I named it the Sun Goddess necklace. Sometimes I name my necklaces because there's like a whole energy that's going into the necklace as I'm making it, and it's supposed to inspire that energy for whoever wears the necklace, okay? So this is called the Sun Goddess necklace, and it's really representing that powerful, powerful sun energy. Okay, as you can see, it's very warm colors. And the sun is actually playing a big role in this transformation we're going through right now. So we've, for quite a while now, we've been having sun flares, flares are coming from the sun. And the sun is transforming, okay? Now, a few years ago, the sun was yellow, right? The sun was yellow a few years ago. But as we go through this shift, the sun is assisting humanity and assisting the planet in this great transformational shift that we're going through now. That's what the sun flares are about and things like this. And you will notice now that the sun is actually white. The sun is white now, okay? And the sun is assisting us to move into this new earth and this higher consciousness, this higher form of consciousness. Now, I want to get into a little bit more of this transition, just what the energy is like right now. So, of course, I said the natural energy of death and rebirth is very, very amplified right now because of the shift in consciousness that we are going through. Essentially, human beings are being more enlightened and really evolving up into ascension, right? And I wanted to, go over some of my notes I made about this. So I just put here that as we continue moving through this fourth density shift, that's what it is. And I've mentioned this in a lot of my other videos, but we are moving into fourth density. Some people like to call it 5D, like we're moving from 3D to 5D, the fifth dimension. But I actually really resonate with the term fourth density. I resonate with that because that's talking about fourth density consciousness, okay, and how our consciousness is actually evolving into fourth density, and we're in third density, but we're like transitioning out of third density. So as we continue moving more and more into the fourth density shift in consciousness, we continue to receive more light codes which carry higher consciousness. These light codes are carrying a higher form of consciousness and the vibration of the heart. Okay, now maybe not everyone watching this knows, and some of you do know. I'm sure there's people that have many levels of like wisdom that watch this channel. So for some people, I'm really like assisting them, like learning a lot of new information. And then some people watching already know a lot of this. And actually, before I continue, I actually wanted to really communicate something to my viewers, okay? I wanted to let you guys know that I don't ever feel that I am any kind of authority on anything I talk about. I pick topics that I feel confident speaking about, that maybe I have a lot of experience or some wisdom to offer, but by no means do I feel like I am the one and only authority on anything that I talk about in my videos. A big reason why I started this YouTube channel is to assist in this shift of consciousness and to raise the vibration and to awaken people to everything that I talk about, okay? To awaken people to that. But I also started it to find others like me, like-minded, like-hearted people. I started my channel for that because before I had my channel, I've had a spiritual awakening, and I kind of felt lonely, and I really wanted to connect to others that were going through a similar experience as me. But also, another reason I started my channel is to hear from people that have more wisdom than me on the topics I speak of, that have more wisdom, and share their wisdom in the comment section below. So anytime you're watching the video and you feel like you have some really good insight, I highly encourage you to comment below, because I think that we all are a very valuable piece of this puzzle, and we all have something to offer. And I don't think that I'm like the most knowledgeable person on anything I talk about. There always might be someone who knows a little bit more, or who can offer their perspective. So I just wanted to take a minute to explain that. So let's get back into the energy update. So as we're moving into this higher vibration of the heart, that's really what it is. It's a kind of like a transition from a lot of mind energy and energy of the ego into a more heart-centered energy, okay? And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that too. So as we move more into that, you may find that all your self-care and work on yourself is really starting to come into fruition. Like, you're really starting to see tangible things from all of your hard work and all of your work you've done on yourself. That's really starting to come into fruition in your life. You're stepping more into your highest calling, your higher calling, your soul path, things like this. And you're maybe feeling like it's not such an uphill battle. It's not such an uphill battle anymore. Like, I know, sometimes I used to feel like quite an awkward social outcast because just the way I am. And after I went through my spiritual awakening, I really felt like that. But now it's like not such an uphill battle, because so many people are starting to wake up, are starting to really, I don't want to say that like people who aren't spiritually aware that there's like a bigger, there's a spiritual aspect to everything. People who don't realize that are like totally asleep or anything. Everyone's journey is valuable here, and like, everyone has a right to be here, but I'm just saying that a lot of people are awakening to this heart energy, which is like energy that demands honesty, it demands transparency, it demands authenticity, okay? And we're moving out of the fear that our ego creates, okay? So that's a little bit more in depth, like what I'm talking about, when I say we're moving into the energy of the heart, okay? Yeah, it's not such an uphill battle for those of us who have been shedding the burdens and traumas and really healing, doing everything we can to heal those things, right? And those of us who are really taking responsibility for our vibration, and doing all these things to raise our vibration, it's not feeling like such an uphill battle. Of course, things are continuing to come up so that they can be healed. You know, maybe things that we weren't quite ready to look at before are coming up, you know, and that's going to continue. You know, that is going to continue. We have a lot of work to do, right? But it's just a little bit, it's more like we're on the downhill slope of that now, and can enjoy the fruits of our labor a little bit more. And we're stepping further and further into our life purpose, those of us who have been doing our work, right? And that also means that things that no longer serve us are falling out of our life, you know? The law of repulsion is like amplified. So if things, I mean, super amplified, way more than it was before. So things that do not resonate with you, that are not for your best and highest good, are falling out a lot quicker. Okay, this energy, it just demands that. It demands that things that no longer serve us fall out of our life. Yeah, so I want to say here that please remember in this time that when one door closes, another one opens. So these things are falling out of our life so that we can move into better opportunities for ourselves. Okay, and I also wanted to share that this is not always easy. Like, it hasn't been easy for me at times. It's been really difficult sometimes, and I struggle with letting things go out of my life. So please just know that when things come up to be released and things are falling out of your life, just please trust that that is actually for your best and highest good. You got to trust that, but it can be really hard to let certain things go out of your life, and I've been struggling with that on a personal level. Some of these things have been hard for me to let go, and I like stop and think for a minute, like, wait, is this really what I want to do? Do I really want to let this person go out of my life, or let this job go? I've had some like really huge personal things like that going on in my life, like huge. I'm actually just going to share something with my viewers here. So way before I started my YouTube channel and had my spiritual awakening, right? I started my own business, and it was actually an insurance billing company, and I still have it, but it's just like really super part-time now. As I move more into my life calling and more into being a healer and really helping others, it falls more and more out of my life. But almost 8 years ago, I started this business from the ground up, and it was like my baby. It was like my first business that I created from scratch. And so, but it wasn't my highest calling, and I really felt like I wanted to help people on a deeper level than what I was. So yeah, I started that company, and then I went through my big spiritual awakening and was like, okay, well, maybe this is not like how I can best serve humanity and this and that. But last week, I actually lost my very first client I had in that business. So he was my very first client. I had him for 7.5, like plus years, right? And he was my client like that whole time. And so he let me go, and he actually did it in kind of a rude way. I mean, it was like not very nice the way he did it, especially considering how long I had known him and how long I had been working with him. He just basically gave me no reasoning to why he was letting me go. He basically just said, yeah, you're done working for me, and that's effective immediately. And that was like it. And that was kind of hard for me. But, you know, it's like I realize that that's because he is working with him is no longer serving me. He was kind of a pain in my butt and like a negative person for me to interact with. And he was challenging. He was a challenging client for me. So, but it was like so symbolic of me moving into this new chapter of my life. So just remember that when things like that are starting to fall out right now, just know that that's actually so you can step further in to your higher purpose, your higher calling, and why you are really here. So please remember that. And I just wanted to share something personal with you guys, you know, just so I can tell you, like, I'm not perfect. Like, things like this are happening in my life too, right? Yeah, I just wanted to say about like new opportunities coming in and things falling out of our lives, just to be grateful that the universe is aligning with your higher self to put you right where you need to be. And it's all happening so that we can lead people into this new way of living authentically in peace and from the heart. That's why it's happening, okay? Because we are the ones who are going to have to lead by example in this new earth that we're creating. And we're just moving into whether we want to or not, right? And those who are resisting this shift will continue to struggle in their lives, unfortunately. If you're really resisting this change that's just happening, the energy demands people. It demands people to be accountable for their vibration and actions and be authentic and transparent. So old ways of blame, denial, and dishonesty are being shown for exactly what they are. And the truth is getting harder to run from. And so it's becoming increasingly difficult for the old energy and way of being to survive. It's definitely not, it's not thriving, okay? So, and it may actually still seem on a collective level, like in the world around us, that this great shift is not happening, just because the old energy right now is fighting really, really, really hard to stay alive. It doesn't want to die, okay? So that's why it may seem at times like collectively there's not a huge awakening and a huge shift in consciousness going on, but I promise you it is happening and it continues to amplify. So I guess that's all I have to say, because of course the video is starting to get really long. So I'll let you guys go for now. Oh, and by the way, I hope you like my new intro. My daughter Keena helped me make that intro. She helped a lot with it. And so thank you, Keena. I just love how my children can like help me with stuff like that. I think it's really cool. So if you guys have any other questions or comments on this shift and this energy right now, please comment below. I would love to hear from you guys. Please share this with anyone you think would be interested in watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. I have lots of other content, and I've also created some playlists on my channel. So go check the playlist out. There's like a Starseed playlist, a metaphysics and self-care playlist, and there's an empath playlist. So go check those out. May the force be with you. And just sending you love. Until next time. Bye, guys.